Sabrina Carpenter's drastic pivot from girl next door to pop icon is possibly the best rebrand case study of the decade. She didn't just grow up and away from her Disney-tailored persona. She detonated the Disney image and rebuilt herself as a chart-topping bombshell. This wasn't just natural growth, though. Sabrina's rebrand was intentional. It was incredibly strategic, and the results are undeniable. #1 albums, viral songs, Grammys, and the cultural status of the pop girly of the 2020s. And here's the thing, you don't need to be a short and sweet icon to pull off the same principles. Whether you're running a small business, building your personal brand, or just trying to stand out in a noisy market, there are lessons in Sabrina's strategy for you. Hey friends, I'm Ana The Marketeer, your friendly neighborhood marketeer baddie. I break down the branding and marketing strategies of celebs, creators, and campaigns so we both can learn and grow together in our personal brands or the brands of our businesses. And today we're going to break down the brand of Sabrina Carpenter, how she went from Disney star to global icon. And I'll give you the top lessons from her journey so you can use them for your own branding and marketing goals. But first, if you want more breakdowns like this, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next case study. And if you subscribe to my newsletter today, you'll get my free authentic branding checklist that will help you stay aligned while you level up. The link is in the description below. And you can now listen to these episodes on Spotify. The link is in the description as well. Now, let's break it down. Early career foundation. Sabrina's brand DNA began in Disney's safe, wholesome pipeline. She starred in Girl Meets World, played Caddy Heron in Mean Girls on Broadway, and of course, had the expected Hollywood Records deal that many young Disney stars get. Her debut single, Can't Blame a Girl for Trying, and her first album, Eyes Wide Open, released in 2015, did okay. 12,000 first-week sales and a Billboard number 43 debut. I can't lie, she released some bangers in her early career. And sure, these were solid numbers for a 15-year-old, but the music was squeaky clean and didn't really stand out in the crowded market. The lyrics were the kind of songs you'd play at like a middle school sleepover while talking about your crush. Like, nothing wrong with that, but it felt very safe. Some might even say very forgettable, which from a branding and marketing perspective is like the kiss of death. Her later Disney-era albums, Evolution and The Singular Projects, performed moderately well, but there wasn't an obvious Sabrina brand grammar or distinct identity. No signature sound, image, or persona that people can look at and be like, oh, that's a Sabrina Carpenter thing. There's nothing that really made her stand out in the sea of other young singers or even stand out from her other Disney Channel contemporaries. Sabrina had the talent, but she didn't have the signature brand yet. Emphasis on the yet. Sabrina's early career serves as an important reminder to all of us. Early stages of your brand don't have to be final. Often it's a stepping stone and a learning phase to help you refine. Also, it's essential to recognize when you're blending in instead of standing out, because that means more often than not, you're playing it too safe. And at this point, Sabrina realized playing it safe wasn't going to make her a global superstar. How she differentiated herself with brand grammar. The Sabrina we know today was born in 2022 and rose to superstardom in 2023. After signing with Island Records, she finally had space to lean into who she really was. Vulnerable, funny, cheeky, and willing to push buttons. Her album, Emails I Can't Send, hit number 23 on the Billboard 200, her highest yet at the time. But the bigger story wasn't the chart position, it was the persona. Songs like Because I Liked a Boy transformed scandal into storytelling, turning the Olivia Rodrigo love triangle into art by responding to Olivia's sour songs, which painted her, as in Sabrina, as a boy stealer with her own side of the story. Meanwhile, Nonsense went viral for its improvised, often sexually charged outros at live shows, clips that TikTok ate up. Add the platinum blonde bangs, playful styling, and a confident wink. Combine that with a pinup aesthetic, bedazzled corsets, signature lipstick kiss stain, and of course her iconic blowouts, and Sabrina was suddenly memorable. Her flirty, tongue-in-cheek persona became widely loved, and this is an exaggerated version of Sabrina's already humorous personality. She stayed true to her roots, but learned how to represent a brand and its image on stage. And this is important because fans didn't just hear music, they saw and heard a brand. This serves as a powerful lesson for you. Branding is more than just logos, fonts, and colors. It's about creating repeatable cues that make your audience instantly recognize you. Sabrina has this down to a science. Fans also love her unapologetic lyrics, Juno poses, double entendres, and feminine confidence, and she knows this. She's also pretty exclusively for the girls and the gays, with her shows being packed with feminine energy. Between her brand visuals, brand traditions, and elements of brand grammar, Sabrina masterfully crafted the ultimate brand for herself, separating her image from Disney's wholesome girl next door entirely. Every time Sabrina performs, you know the vocabulary she's speaking, and fans love translating it. From safe Disney star to it girl. By 2024, Sabrina transcended from being just a pop star to a brand case study on how to be the it girl of the 2020s, at least so far. Short and Sweet sold 363,000 first week units and topped Billboard. She became the first woman ever to hold the top 3 spots on the UK singles chart, and she took home 2 Grammys. In 2025, as this is being filmed, we've had about a month with Man's Best Friend, her 7th and latest album. And if you've been on the internet for the past few months since Sabrina announced it, you've probably heard all the noise. Nobody is immune to criticism, especially women in any kind of limelight. And of course, the critiques, accusations, and even a bit of fan outrage circulated fast online through discourse on TikTok, Reddit, and Meta. Some critics accused her of pandering to the male gaze, while other supporters saw it as a provocative satire, encouraged others to lighten up, aka, this is Sabrina's brand, why are we surprised at what this album cover looks like? In response, which Sabrina handled expertly, and totally aligns with her brand, she released alternative covers, one she jokingly called Approved by God, chef kiss on how to handle a scandal girly, to assert control over how her image is interpreted. This is a critical brand play message. Be bold, let people talk, but fence your narrative. Always be in control of your narrative. Any publicity can be turned to good publicity if you stay true to your brand. When fans and critics called her too horny or her album art anti-feminist, did you apologize? No, she clapped back with humor, released alternate covers, and doubled down on the persona. That's the mark of brand mastery, turning criticism into content. I believe Sabrina was always talented, always smart and quippy and quirky and witty, but the thing is, she wasn't truly owning that until 2022. Her image and lyrics felt more basic and just run-of-the-mill as everybody else. There wasn't much about her at that time that made jaws drop or made people want to lean in to listen to her outside of the music and her music itself. And now that she is confident, identifiable, and iconic, she's bound to receive pushback and criticism. It's inevitable when you take risks. But in most cases, it's well worth it when the risk leans on being more authentic to yourself. Her rebrand was the result of many moving pieces that all came together perfectly by the time Short and Sweet and Man's Best Friend were released. And also contributing to her success, her smart collaborations. For her last 2 albums, she turned to production and writing experts, notably Jack Antonoff. And if you know anything about Jack, it's that he's a multi-talented man and a special kind of brand accelerator. He found his own success with bands Steel Train, Fun, and Bleachers, and has worked as a songwriter and producer, known for partnering with icons like Taylor Swift, Kendrick Lamar, Lana Del Rey, and Lorde, among others. Jack carries significant cultural clout and credibility. By aligning with him, Sabrina taps into his sonic signature and legitimacy while still steering her own brand. And let that be a lesson for you too. The right people can help you on your brand journey. When you're ready to level up, don't just double your output. Upgrade your partnerships. Align with creatives, collaborators, or mentors who bring authority, signature style, and brand power. That move can turn a pivot into a leap and support your growth. Because truly, even the biggest stars have support. No one can do it all on their own. Building brand legacy. Sabrina Carpenter now sets trends instead of blending in, and there's a lot we can learn from her. Sabrina's story is already remarkable, from a safe Disney teen star with moderate album sales to one of the defining pop girlies of her generation. What's important to note is that she didn't abandon her foundation, she just built on it. The Disney years gave her acting chops, performance training, and an initial fan base. The rebrand gave her a new identity, boosted her confidence, and earned her viral magnetism. Together, they created brand equity. Today, Sabrina's brand is rooted in trust and tradition. Her fans know exactly what they're signing up for: cheeky confidence, playful innuendos, and unforgettable stage rituals. That's why they flock to her shows, buy the Kiss sticker merch, and clip her nonsense outros for TikTok. She consistently delivers on her brand promise, and in marketing, consistency is currency. Looking ahead, her trajectory could mirror other legendary women in pop. For instance, Madonna reinvented herself every few years, using each era as a strategic rebrand. And more recently, Taylor Swift, whose latest album, The Life of a Showgirl, which also features Sabrina, has successfully reinvented herself and her sound multiple times without losing her foundation and identity. Sabrina is still in the early stages of her career, and there may be many rebrands to come. Her playful persona gives her room to evolve into a more serious artist later, if she chooses. Or she could keep doubling down on reinvention, experimentation with eras that refresh her aesthetic while keeping the core brand intact. Either way, she's already proven she's not a temporary moment. She's building cultural permanence. And if her brand continues to balance consistency with creativity, Sabrina Carpenter won't just be a pop girly of this decade. She'll be a name etched into pop culture for decades to come. Defining Sabrina Carpenter's brand. At its core, Sabrina Carpenter's brand can be distilled into three clear categories. Number one, cheeky feminine confidence. From her nonsense outros to lyrical double entendres in Espresso or Taste, Sabrina projects unapologetic femininity. She plays with innuendo while still keeping it playful, making her brand feel bold but never alienating. Two, persona as performance. Sabrina doesn't sell her raw everyday self. Instead, she leans into a heightened persona, the blonde pinup girl with a wink and a zesty personality. Fans understand this as a performance, and that's why they embrace it. It shows that a brand doesn't have to equal your full identity. It can be a crafted character that still aligns with your values. And three, consistent rituals. The Juno pose, corseted outfits, kiss sticker, and cheeky humor. These repeatable cues have become synonymous with her shows and music. They act like branding signatures, making her instantly recognizable. In conclusion, Sabrina's emotional promise is she delivers playful confidence every time. Her brand tells fans you'll be entertained, you'll feel empowered, and you'll get a dose of humor paired with relatable lyrics for the girlies and the gays at least. And that consistency builds trust, which is the ultimate foundation of any strong brand. So what does this mean for you as a creator or creative, a small business owner, entrepreneur? Of course, we're always going to get to this in an Ana The Marketeer video. So here are 5 key takeaways that you can apply to your own brand from Sabrina Carpenter's strategy. Number 1, outgrow your first identity. Sabrina couldn't stay the girl next door forever. If she'd clung to her Disney persona, she would have faded into obscurity. Instead, she evolved as her audience did. For you, don't get stuck in the first version of your brand. If you launch with a specific look, service, or niche, give yourself permission to evolve as your audience expands. fans. 2. Persona over personality. Sabrina's fans know she's playing a role on stage, and they love her for it. Your brand persona doesn't have to be your whole authentic self. It just has to align with your values and feel intentional. For you, craft a persona that's amplified, polished, or playful. Maybe you're the witty actor, the eco-conscious fashion designer, or the sarcastic marketeer. Own the role. 3. Consistency is trust. Sabrina's bangs, corsets, and cheeky lyrics make her instantly recognizable. Her fans expect it, and she delivers. For you, create signature rituals or brand cues that people associate with you. It could be your email sign-off, a specific design element, or a reoccurring content format. Consistency breeds recognition, and recognition builds loyalty. 4. Controversy is currency. Critics called Sabrina too horny or labeled her man's best friend album cover anti-feminist. Instead of retreating, she leaned in, joked about it, and reframed the conversation. For you, when you face criticism or challenges, don't panic. Ask yourself, how can you take ownership of the narrative and convey confidence? Sometimes what feels like a weakness can be repositioned as a strength. And 5, audience first. Despite critics, Sabrina knows her audience, mostly women who feel empowered, entertained, and represented in her music. She plays to them. For you, don't waste energy trying to win over people who will never be your customers. Focus on delighting the ones who are already invested in you and your journey. Those are the ones who want to see you grow, want to see you do well, and truly are the only ones you should be paying attention to. Sabrina Carpenter's rebrand proves that reinvention, when done strategically, can catapult you from forgettable to iconic. She left behind a safe Disney image, built a cheeky persona, and committed to consistency. Bangs, corsets, innuendos, and all. That's branding. So the real question is, what's your Sabrina shift? What bold move could you take from blending in to standing out? Please let me know in the comments below about your Sabrina shift. I want to know, I want to hear it, and let's support everyone in the comments here on their Sabrina shift. If you love this breakdown, please hit subscribe. Please hit that like button, leave a comment below, and of course, if you want more information like this in your inbox, please subscribe to Marketeer's Memo. The next edition will be coming out to an inbox near you. And please give me a follow on TikTok and IG if you love what you see. And if you're interested in consultations, you'll see my email in the description below. Hit me up. Let's see if we can get your brand to the next level, honey. I'm here for you, baby boo. Until next time, Marketeers, stay consistent, stay quippy, and most importantly, stay you.